welcome to Cutscenes and Cupcakes, the podcast.
Hi.
The podcast where we talk about video games and then rate them in baked goods.
Yay!
Sometimes
Baked
savory,
goods.
sometimes sweet. Sometimes fake baked goods because we haven't had baked goods. I mean, we've had baked goods.
I made that thing last night, so we could use that. The Ritz Bits.
Are we going to an individual little tiny Ritz Bits?
Yes.
I think we should. I think we should do clumps of Ritz Bits. Like,
okay.
They
clumps
did come
of
in
three
clumps.
with the like butter crisp, the butter sugar crisp at the bottom that kind of melted into like a liquid, but then was baked.
Baked butter.
Baked butter. That's what I'm talking about.
So, just so you guys know what we made, I found a recipe online that was peanut butter Ritz Bits, and then you toss them in melted butter, and then you coat them with sugar and cinnamon, and then you put them in a baking sheet, and you bake them. And they are really yummy.
I was cynical because the combination of peanut butter and cinnamon had not occurred to me, but they're surprisingly very good.
I love to dip apples in
like cinnamon, like yogurt.
Yeah, like Greek yogurt with a little bit of peanut butter and cinnamon.
Ooh,
that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like cinnamon and peanut.
I wouldn't have thought of that for some reason.
Cinnamon and peanut butter is not like a new thing for me. I'm a cinnamon and peanut butter connoisseur.
I am not. But I am now.
Yeah, it was just a really easy dessert. It sounded interesting, and we're like, yeah, let's give it a try.
And for me, it was free. And I like free.
It was like $2 for me because I bought the Ritz Bits, and Erica had all the rest of the ingredients.
We are cheap bitches. We have simple taste. We do like to spend a little money on ourselves every once in a while.
But you know what? There's like not much of a difference between a really good, fancy $10 dessert and a cheap ass ghetto dessert. They are both good. Desserts are good.
Marlee and I were talking about this yesterday because for my wedding, I stressed and spent so much money on a damn cake.
I did too for my first wedding.
I stressed so much about the stupid cake. And I don't even think other than the part where you like put the cake in each other's mouths, I don't know if I got full piece of cake. So me and Marlee were like, if we ever got married again, let's do not that we're marrying each other. Let's do Costco cake, baby.
Yeah, I would totally go cheap and just get like a sheet cake from Costco. And be like, if you don't want it, don't eat it.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of brilliant. I think she hated it, but what she ended up doing was Costco cupcakes. And they have like Mrs. Havisham fake cake.
I was going to say, you do have the Miss Havisham
which
cake.
I don't want to talk about. That's another story for another day. They had the Mrs. Havisham cake for display, but then they had cupcakes for the guests to eat.
See, I would do something like that. I would like put maybe like a little money, maybe like no more than like $50 or $100. Definitely not more than $100 on like a pretty like simple, like maybe like a unique themed cake, and then buy like a very, very cheap sheet cake from the store.
Check wedding on the front of any type of product, and it's not going to be cheaper than $200.
I'm just going to say I want a themed cake. I want a themed cake. I want a Batman cake, or I want
a nothing
Batman.
Bunt cake.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yes.
I may have looked into it on a whim. It's a thing.
I am fine with that. Nothing Bunt cake is delicious.
So good. Oh my
Not
goodness.
a sponsor, but Nothing Bunt cake. We're here for you.
Call me.
And you're here for us.
Well, you guys, today we're going to talk about a beloved game. We have talked about many times before, and I think we probably mentioned almost every episode, especially if we're talking about games that we love. Bioshock.
But OG. Stephanie, we've already done an episode on Bioshock.
You are right, dear Lindsey.
Why are we doing it again?
We are going to start doing a couple episodes called Respawn.
Oh,
where? Yeah.
3, 2, I think 1. I remember us meeting about this.
If we had like a budget and like skills, we could do like a graphic and it'd go Respawn. something like that.
Imagine that.
I'm
like respawn question
like
mark?
the old school Batman where it like spins into the frame.
Can you put like a banner that says respawn question mark? Respawn exclamation point.
And then it's like yes or no. And then you select yes. And then it's like 3, 2, 1. And then you're back in the game.
Yes.
I like that.
We would do all of that if we had skills.
We'll put that on our Patreon.
I can see Hamilton in the background, Lindsay.
Oh, he is.
He's taking a bath.
He isn't doing his cat tree thing.
Indecent.
He got a cat tree today, and he
like
loves it.
taller
But
than I am.
It's pretty tall. I didn't think it would be as tall as it is, but it's perfect for him to perch and watch me sleep.
Perfect.
And do other things you do in a bed.
No,
like
we
read
have a bro
books.
code. Oh, yeah, like read books. But we have
Watch
a bro
Netflix.
code when it comes to
Read
reading
some books.
Read some books.
Anyways, back to Bioshock and respawning.
Yes, we're going to be talking about Bioshock again. If you haven't listened to our Bioshock episode, it's our first episode.
Fun!
It might be one of the games that got us to want to do a podcast about video gaming. And isn't it Marlee's first game she ever played by herself?
Not quite. It was like the first one I played all the way through from start to finish, but Lindsey helped me during the hard parts.
Hashtag the scary parts.
We also dressed up as slicers, or cosplays, as the kids call it. Cosplayed as splicers for a FanX a couple of years ago.
That is true.
We're adorable.
It was fun. I still have my mask. It's in my bookshelf over there.
I did too. Mine's in a closet.
I will never forget that was the FanX that I like had mutual attraction to a t-shirt guy.
Oh, I remember that.
And I fell in love, but I didn't get his number because I was too embarrassed.
And then we couldn't find him again, right?
And I Facebook stalked him and I commented on his picture and I was like, this guy was super helpful and great and sweet. And hoping that he would see it. And I don't think he ever did.
Oh,
if he did, he was like, wow, that's creepy.
I did that to my TA in freshman year. So I feel you.
Oh, I remember that, Steph. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, we're talking about Bioshock. Do you want me to do a brief description of Bioshock? I feel like we could do this. One. I feel like we could do this from memory, but I'm going to pull up the wiki. In 1960, at the start of the game, the protagonist Jack is a passenger on a plane that goes down in the Atlantic. As the only survivor, Jack makes his way to a nearby lighthouse by a bathysphere terminal that takes him to Rapture. Bum, bum, bum.
He gets to the lighthouse via a bathysphere?
Jack makes his way to a nearby lighthouse that houses a bathysphere.
Oh, that's what I was missing.
That takes him to Rapture. I might have minced words because it's weird to say a lighthouse that houses.
I like it. I think that's good Englishing.
Yeah.
Jack is contacted by Atlas via radio and is guided to safety from the splicers of the perils of the rundown city of Rapture.
The bathysphere houses a radio in which he is radioed by Atlas.
Eventually, Jack enters Ryan's office where Ryan is patiently waiting for Jack. I skipped over a whole bunch.
Skipped over like about 7 or 8 hours of gameplay.
I was like, wait, that doesn't happen in the beginning.
No, this is the very end.
You don't even know who Ryan is. You just said he steps into his office.
Yeah, we don't know who Andrew.
Okay. Atlas requests Jack's help at stopping Andrew.
He's like the first 3 hours of the game.
Why don't you just summarize it yourself, or do you want me to?
Why don't you? You
okay. So when Jack gets to Rapture, he faces a series of challenges trying to reach Andrew Ryan, the creator of Rapture, to find his way out of Rapture. But it turns out that Andrew Ryan is Jack's dad. Spoiler, you guys had your chance 6 seasons ago on our podcast. Sorry. And it turns out that Fontaine, #Atlas, is the bad guy. #spoilers.
OMG spoilers.
These are all in my own words. These are things I say regularly. Hashtag lies. And then
to be fair, this game came out in 2007. So if you haven't played it in the last 14 years, that's on you.
Yeah,
that's
it really is. And so
14 years?
Events ensue, and you have a variety of endings which you get based on whether or not you save the little sisters who harvest a supernatural material called Adam, which gives you superpowers.
Bees.
That is one of the powers.
I did incinerate, and Marlee did
electrobolt. Electrobolt. I did.
Okay, we're nerds about this game.
Okay.
And there's a reason why.
Okay, you said this game came out 14 years ago, and we were playing it last night, and we were all just talking about how well this game holds up over the years. Like that is insane.
Well, and we were
because gaming has come a long ways in the last even just 3 or 4 years.
And we were playing it on a PS5, and let me tell you, my friends,
it was beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
It looks great.
All the blood and gore and Rapture.
The remasters look beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of hard work was done to produce those, but it's so close to the original game. Like the original game is so beautiful still. Mm-hmm. Like I know I could whip out my Xbox 360 and it would look good. It wouldn't look HD 4K good, but it would look really good.
Yes, definitely.
And I've seen much worse in games that came out in the past year.
Yes.
So
we revisited this game in person, and we also added a little fun element to it.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Shush, Steph.
Because it was my idea. Yeah, we wanted to do these. Yes, we wanted to do these Respawn episodes, but I was like, hey. We love Bioshock, but I don't know if I want to just sit and watch the first couple hours of the game again, like normal. And because we've done that a lot. There's been times where we've just sat down, we're bored. And then we just sat down and just let's play Bioshock. And we just would do it. But anyways, so I wanted a fun twist. And so I decided to come up with the Bioshock blindfold challenge.
Hashtag.
Yes. It's a thing. It's trending. And so one person, the player, would be blindfolded, and the rest of us would give verbal directions to help this person know where to go. And our friend Erica was playing with us as well. And it was chaotic, but it was kind of fun. But it was also it got old after a minute, I'll have to be honest.
Well, once we got to the actual fighting and gunplay,
yes,
things got a little more difficult.
Yes,
that is.
And I think it got a little
with all the turrets
to the person blindfolded.
Not me.
Yes,
I'm just kidding. That's a lie.
Okay. Because
you're trying to be calm and sultry about it, but everyone else was just screaming.
It was fun. I played the first part, and that was pretty chill because I wasn't really killing anyone yet.
Yeah, you had your wrench. And we would tell you when to hit, and you maybe came across 2 people.
You will come across a splicer in the next room. Head straight, and then push R2 repeatedly. That's pretty much how it went.
To be fair,
left, little more left.
Left step, left.
Not move your body.
I love we used degrees.
Oh yeah.
But how do you know? That's not the best frame of. I understand why you would use that frame of reference, but it's not always when you're blindfolded.
No,
but that 5 degrees is a little bit, and that 180 degrees is holding the joystick for a second.
I feel like it was a lot longer than you think it would be when you're trying to do 180.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, and then even with the camera angles and the dual joysticks, we had to be hey, move your body left or move your body right,
your camera,
or then move your camera, because sometimes it just really depended on the angle you were looking at, and then we're okay, go forward, and it was just
a lot of wall hugging.
Yeah, but
a lot of going through things backwards.
If you just in a normal life, if you were to brush by a wall and it hit your arm, you could still move past the wall. But in Bioshock, if
you're just
really touched your arm, you're just can't move, stuck here, not going anywhere.
Wrench into the wall.
I know at one point I wrenched a dead body, like the one that was hanging between the like window and between the like half wall. Like they're like, okay, now turn, and there's gonna be a lock, and you're gonna wrench it, and I just start wrenching, and I just hear this like blood smushing.
Squelching.
Yeah. So it was a fun challenge, but I wouldn't recommend going past the prologue.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have to start going under the wharfs. That would have been really intense to do blindfolded.
I know, and Erica was blindfolded at the time, and I felt bad because I was trying to give we were all trying to give really good directions, but it just we're like, nope, just a little more left, no, too far,
and there
back to the right. We're like,
all of us were like trying to give instructions. It was kind of like organized chaos.
Yeah, and it was still fun though, like especially when you did kill some splicers, and we all were like, yay! Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
And everyone was very encouraging.
It's true.
But definitely we got to a point where we're like, we're
just gonna not.
We're just gonna watch Lindsey
the turrets? No.
Oh yeah, the turrets.
No. And those security cameras.
But I hate security cameras. They're my arch nemesis.
I know. It's one of my favorite memories of Marlee actually is playing Bioshock with you, and you just be like, oh, I hear a security camera. And you just get so upset. I'm like, it's okay. Like, you're just going to have 3 seconds. You just run straight past it. No, I'm going to get it. Okay, we'll get it.
Okay. Well, then the stupid bots come at you, and then they just keep shooting you, and you're just like, stupid. Leave me alone.
It is annoying. It is really annoying. But that's the cool thing about this game is we were playing and I was like, okay, let me just restock on health kits. I was immediately just drawn back into it. I was like, you guys, I just want to sit and play this all night because Bioshock is that kind of game. Bioshock is the kind of game that you just want to marathon.
Yes.
Because it's so enjoyable. The gameplay is so good. The story is so intriguing.
And the world is just so beautiful. You want to go into the next room. You want to check it out. You want to, see what's around the next corner.
And I think it's a fan favorite for a lot of people. There's obviously Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite, and they've been teasing Bioshock 4. And I really think that they should do a Bioshock 4. I would be fine if it became like Halo, where they just made a ton.
Right? That would be amazing.
Or
I'm on board.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a great series.
Although, isn't it? It's not. Is it Bethesda?
No,
it's
4K.
4K games.
Oh, okay.
Who's the other one? Looking it up.
I don't know.
Hang on.
Do you know for our first episode, we did so much research for this game?
Irrational Games and 2K, not 4K. I was dumb because I thought that
2K, old school.
I got 2K and 4K mixed up because reality is
me and Steph didn't know any different. Yeah, we did do a lot of research initially when we first started our podcast, for a lot of those first few episodes. But then we just kind of got to a point where we're like,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It was a of change.
Yeah.
Not an of complacency. It was more like it wasn't working. And so we made it better.
Yeah. We adjusted.
Yeah. We adapted. Just like Jack adapted to getting Adam powers.
Yeah. If you buy a small bra, you got to get one that fits right.
Huh?
You adjust.
Oh.
Yeah.
That metaphor was quickly lost. I'm sorry.
Yes, no. I blame it on myself. I'm very tired.
It's okay.
Yes, it is.
Man. But this game though, just like Lindsey said, I too, I'm like, I just want to sit and play this longer. And if it wasn't getting late last night, I would have been like, no, let's keep going. I want to play more. It is fun.
It is such a good game. And yeah, like Marlee was saying, the world is gorgeous. The the communism in it or anti-communism is fantastic as well.
Anti-capitalism, faux show.
The lore is great. You just want to know more about Jack Ryan.
Well, and run into our favorite characters too. Like,
yes.
like we got to see Steinman early on because he's early on in the game. But I mean, of course, we want to see Sander Cohen. Like,
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
He doesn't come until later though, and so it's like, dang it, we got to play more of this game to get to him because his whole scene and like side missions and things that you do to with him they're actually really fun. They're spooky, but they're really fun.
They look so good in HD.
I forgot how bloody it is. It's dark, you guys, but in a fun way.
It is, but it's not like horrible. Like it's not like over the top people all stitched together Hannibal style. You know, it's not like Resident Evil. It's just like, oh, okay, well that guy's
crazy, bananas.
Dead for sure. Or crazy and also dead.
That's the thing. It's like it's not dead? For sure if they're dead because later on in the game they all start coming back to life.
But like when you wrench a guy 600 times, he's usually dead.
Until usually,
I mean, until he's not. No, I don't know.
One of the spookiest parts of that game is when you walk down that corridor and there's dead bodies kind of littered everywhere, dead splicers.
And then it flashes.
Then it flashes. And then don't they disappear?
The lights turn off and then
they're in
you
different
hear
positions.
them moving around. And then it turns on and then they all spring up like daisies.
Yes.
And you're one or two of them are gone and you don't know where they went and the rest are getting up and you're just like, I'm going to die.
And then from that point in the game, every time you come across a dead splicer, it's just for good measure, whack.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
And we definitely chose to not harvest the little sisters because we're not evil, heartless humans.
No.
It's I don't know. I've played that ending once and I'm like, there's no reward to it. Like you kind of lose in the end. You don't really feel like a badass. And then you die alone. Like
you feel
it's
like a bad asshole.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like you're renegade shepherd and you're just like, I take the law into my own hands. It's just more, oh, well, that's a bummer. You just squished a little girl into a slug. Like, good job. That's a terrible way of describing it, but that's how it goes down.
I love how in movies and comic books, we really support vigilante justice, but in real life, it's not a great thing to support.
Yeah, it would be pretty scary if you went outside and there's a guy with a wrench and he's like, I'll protect you. And I'm like, I don't need it.
You're like, they're actually not hurting me. He's like, it's fine. I'll take care of them.
Oh my goodness.
He just stole $2 from me. Please don't whack his head off.
Yeah. He can keep it. Please. In fact, I gave it to him.
Yeah, it was a gift.
Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was definitely different doing this blindfold challenge. If you guys want to see we took a couple of Instagram videos and they're posted on our Instagram feed. So you can always go back. We did 3 videos, one for each of our turns. Where are you guys? There and there. And me. So you should definitely go check those out.
Yeah, it is. Yes, check it out on our Instagram. Check out our first episode. We go a lot more in depth than we are right now. And you could hear our deep divey thoughts about it. But true. Just to revisit it holds up, you guys. Yeah. It is fantastic. We didn't finish it. We've all finished it multiple times. Mm-hmm. And that isn't to say we won't finish it, but we just kind of sat down into one playthrough session. And it holds up. It's beautiful. The gameplay is still super fun.
Be specific. What is your favorite thing about the gameplay? Do you just like the gravity of the world? Do you like the weapons or the way the inventory is managed? Or, what is your favorite thing about the gameplay?
I don't mind the way that the gameplay or the weaponry is managed. I'm definitely like a wrench person.
Melee.
We know.
Yeah, I'm definitely a melee person. And you know what? The wrench holds up. And then you get like a Gatling gun. And I'm always down for a Gatling gun.
The machine gun? Or are you talking about the rivet gun later
the
on?
The rivet gun.
Don't you get the rivet gun? Or is that in Bioshock 2?
That's Bioshock 2.
Is it?
That's why I was
Dang
confused. I was like, what?
Dang it.
You're like consulting the heavens.
I know. I was like,
What
wait,
is
that
that?
does sound wrong, doesn't it?
You get the bolt, right? Like the crossbow thing. That's kind of like a rivet gun because it shoots a crossbow bolt.
I don't know. I just know Gatling guns are my favorite types of guns.
Are you
That's
thinking the
fair.
machine gun?
I think it's a machine gun.
Oh my
Sorry.
goodness, Kitty.
My cat's climbing on my laptop,
He's like,
directly. Yeah.
Meow.
So I had to remove him from the scene, and now he's glaring at me. But
Also, the artistry is beautiful. I was kind of bummed because I played at the very beginning, and you don't get to see your descent into Rapture.
We described it for you.
Yes, you guys described it, and it was wonderful. But it is something to like be descending through the bathysphere down into the water, and you first see Rapture,
yeah,
and you look outside and you see like the whale and like the octopus, and you're just.
I described it to you beautifully in that
Yeah.
I said there is an octopus squid floating by quickly, and now Fontaine's fishery. But anyway,
You know, you did paint me a verbal picture, but it just
wasn't the same.
wasn't quite the same.
I don't think words could capture it.
No,
it's
definitely
gorgeous.
not. I do like that is one of my favorite things about this game is the style. I love like the Art Deco 50s, 60s era, like whatever. It's 60s, right? But I don't think it was built in the 60s. It was built in like the 20s.
Andrew Ryan crashes in the 60s, so I think it's more like 30s, 40s.
Yeah, because it's like roaring 20s kind of like feel.
Yeah, but I think the massacre was in the late.
It was the
1940s.
It was it shows the banner.
Oh, it's in
like
1950.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the New Year banner of 1959.
Oh, and Rapture was built in the 1940s. Okay.
Oh, okay. But anyways, the style I love. Like I love like that Art Deco. It's like I said, it's just fun to explore all the different rooms and the different styles and even the like the splicers, because obviously like this was like a masquerade party. And so it's kind of fun to like see them like they're all in their fancy outfits and their masks, but they're like torn
fancy things.
They're like torn and bloody though, because like, they're just going around killing each other. But it's just so beautiful.
The setting, I agree, is just unbeatable. I will never get over how good Rapture is. It's one of my favorite places to explore, despite how messed up it is.
Yeah.
And I gotta like give my little bit about the gameplay too. Like I like that there's not a complex inventory system. It's all pretty much just there for you. It gets more complex as you go with like the U invent and things like that. But it's still fairly simple and it's not overwhelming to manage because you just have your weapon wheel, you have your what is it called? Plasmid wheel. And and then like a couple slots for your buffs that you choose. And so I really like that in terms of the gameplay, but I also really like the balance of like mini games, aka hacking, to just like you're walking through your first person shooter.
Right.
Also,
I
got to give it for that.
It's really balanced with side mission too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
and like exploration versus on the rails. Like it's such a good balance of like, you can go in and explore the dentist's office, but you have what you need. Like, remember how I was like, I didn't even go get the shotgun because I was just focused on the mission.
Yeah.
And there's like whole areas I hadn't even gone into because I knew where I was going. But if you don't, and you're in that first playthrough, it's such a delight to be like, okay, what's behind door number 2? And you like creep in and then you get scared and then you're like, okay.
I don't want to go in this room. But definitely. the game is pretty linear, but
Yeah.
there is a little room for exploration, but not like too much where it's like free roam. It's like,
yeah, it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's contained to areas of the map.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I like too about it is that, like, yeah, you have this whole area of the map and you're like, yeah, go explore it, have some fun because you can't even move on to the next area anyways in most cases.
And
until you finish.
There's a good balance too of like collectibles. Like there are collectibles and they mean something. They're lore to the game.
Mhm.
That is true.
It's
The
not
tapes-
like Assassin's Creed 2 where you have like 8,000 feathers you have to collect because your little brother wants some. Like, yeah,
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, and there's like a billion scattered throughout the game and they're all hard to get to. It's like that's too much.
Oh my
But
goodness.
for me anyway, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think BioShock balances all of those little concepts and all those little details so well.
Definitely. I agree.
Well, what would you guys rate it?
Several.
Several
Perfect.
cinnamon sugar Ritz bits.
I think we all have pretty much the same rating. Can we just go all at the same time?
A whole package of it, just like all of it.
Yeah, the whole tray. Yeah, no, I think we all give it a 5 for sure.
Oh,
right?
I was gonna say something different. Can we
What
say
were
it
you-
all at the same time?
What
Sure.
were you gonna say?
1, 2, 3, 5.
5.
Yeah. I just had to keep you on your toes because I really wanted to do that.
5 out of 5.
I was too concerned about what you were going to say to like want to rate
It's
it
a
myself.
6. Let's get real.
It's just so.
It's a 10.
It's just so good. I give it a 2.
And I don't know, like some people. I don't know people who don't like Bioshock. I know people who like aren't as crazy about it like we are. Maybe like in the 4 range, like it's a warm 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've heard too many bad things about Bioshock.
Definitely not. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but like sitting down and playing BioShock, especially like with friends, like with you guys, it feels like home.
No.
Oh, that might make me cry a little bit.
It just feels like comforting. You know,
definitely reminds me of like college.
Mhm.
Memories of like being younger.
And we lived together for
when we lived together.
summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that? Didn't you guys play? What did you guys play?
That was the summer I played BioShock, and then we played.
I was like, you guys can't play without me, and
that
then
was Infinite. That was BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then it was also Blake's fault.
Like, what happened was my brother-in-law finished it, and he's like, he finished it, and he's like, oh, Lindsey, you can borrow it, and I was like, okay. So I bring it, and it's like this holy grail that I'm like, you guys, we got BioShock Infinite. And then Stephanie's like, oh yeah, we're going to make a night of this. Like, it's going to be really great. The only thing, it's a Saturday, I have work. And then we and Blake and Marlee were like,
for the record,
let's just play the first chapter.
For the record, I didn't know I'm pretty sure I didn't know that Stephanie had like asked us to like play it all together at some point. I just knew she was working, and I remember thinking like, shouldn't we be playing this with Steph? But then like you and Blake were just like full steam ahead.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna watch.
But we did enjoy some time with you after. The resentment is still there, I can see, but you still love us.
I mean, I've lived with it. I guess I've figured out how to make it part of my life and not hate you guys too much.
Okay, well, that's good.
But it might be brought up on my deathbed, so just
that's okay. I'm sure I have some things on you.
I know I have things on both of you.
Anyways, so we love BioShock, and we could just play it over and over again. We might respawn it again next year. Who knows?
Maybe this is just becoming a BioShock podcast.
Yay!
We should do like a yearly review of BioShock. Like, okay, I have a favorite artist. His name is
Josh Groban.
I love Josh Groban.
August Burns Red.
No.
Rufus Wainwright.
You're putting names in my head and it's making me forget it more. Hang on.
Who's that really depressing Elliott Smith?
No, I do like Elliott Smith though. You're naming really great bands.
The guy from Mansions.
Or just like Mansions in general. Just be quiet so I can focus and figure this out. You're driving me crazy.
We'll just sit here and wait.
Taylor Swift just did a whole new album of her old songs.
His name is Kyle Landry. Thank you.
That was my next one.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. His name is Kyle Landry. He does amazing piano covers of game music and soundtracks and stuff. And every year, pretty close, if not every year, he covers Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts. And so that could be our Dearly Beloved. We'll do a Bioshock review. That's slightly different every year.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Let us know in the comments if you think this is a good idea. I don't know.
No one's going to comment.
Your comments into consideration, but that's always an option for you to comment on this.
Oh my goodness. Hey, should we do our not a sponsor segment?
We should.
Yay! I put up the banner.
You go first, Marlee.
Oh,
okay.
Or does Lindsey want to go first?
It's fine.
Oh, you go first, Lindsey.
Go ahead.
It seems to be really important to you.
You guys will never guess what it's going to be.
Adventure Zone.
Is it Muse again?
It is the Adventure Zone. It's not Muse again.
Yeah, every time we do the Bioshock episode, Lindsey has to do Muse as her not a sponsor.
No, it's every time we do an episode, because that's happened 2 or 3 times now where I've been the Muse simulation theory experience. And everyone's oh gosh, here we go again. No, it is the Adventure Zone again. I think this is my 3rd time covering the Adventure Zone, but it's a different kind of Adventure Zone. It is the comic books by the McElroy family and illustrated by Casey Peetsch. Pietsch. 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 And it is just so good. I texted you guys earlier today and I was I finished Adventure Zone graduation and I don't know what to do with my life. And I just started reading the graphic novels I was given as a birthday gift. Thank you, Aaron. And I'm just loving them. The illustration is so good and the story is just perfectly told. They took out no parts that needed to be took out or didn't need to be taken out.
Is it a retelling of the podcast?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So since I know you struggle listening to the podcast, I may lend it to you and have you read the books.
Okay. I would read them.
Yeah.
Because I too struggle listening to the podcast.
I know, but I'll get you guys someday.
I just love my true crime.
I always end up going back to true crime.
I've been in a 2-year bad headspace though, so I just haven't done a lot of true crime lately.
That makes sense.
I enjoy it. I'll watch YouTubers who cover it. The ones you see on Facebook who are oh, I'm a YouTuber and I do true crime. Then I'll watch a 2-minute episode. But I can't handle
Do you ever watch the chick that does makeup while she talks?
I was talking specifically about her without mentioning her name.
I don't know who that is.
Her name's Bailey Saran.
Yeah,
I'm probably butchering her last name. Sorry, Bailey, but she does makeup while she tells a true crime story, and her looks are pretty fab.
Yeah, she does a really good job.
But yeah, Marlee. What's your not a sponsor?
So mine is an audiobook. Surprise. I feel like my last several have been audiobooks, but they're great. So the audiobook that I just finished is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and that's by V.E. Schwab. And my goodness, I've been hearing about that book. Steph's read it.
I told you about it.
You told me about it.
I told you as one of the people who told you about it.
And you also gave me access to listen to it. So
you're welcome.
And so I've been hearing about it from several different people and just hear all good things. And of course, it totally held up to those expectations. It was a really fun story. and it was just not what I was expecting at all. And it was so good. I think it's one I could I think it's one I could reread for sure, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a good book. Like,
well, and it also doesn't like. I don't want to like give too much away or anything, but like, it's actually kind of a sad story. Mm-hmm. It's not a happy book, and it doesn't end that way either. But it's so well done.
And it like crosses a lot of genre lines. Like it's a love story. It's like a fantasy story. It's like mythicalish story.
And a historical fiction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. And that's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
So yeah. Steffers?
I'm doing a podcast. So we're kind of coming like full circle, like book, audiobook, podcast. And it's going to
it's actually like not even full circle, it's a combination. Sorry, I'm really geeking out about this because yours is a podcast, yours is a book, and mine is a book based off of a podcast. Sorry, I got really excited about that. Keep going.
It's Maintenance Phase by Michael Hobbs and Aubrey Gordon. It's a body positive podcast. You know Michael Hobbs from You're Wrong About. You know Aubrey Gordon. Yeah, Michael Hobbs from You're Wrong About. Aubrey Gordon is your fat friend on Instagram. She's fantastic. She just wrote a book called What We Don't Talk About When We Talk About Fat. And they just talk about misconceptions about like the body positivity and like fat and anti-fat bias. They talk about they do a couple of really fun episodes on like Dr. Oz and Weight Watchers, and they kind of like they don't just shit talk them, but they do talk about like how problematic some of the stuff they do is. And so it's really like interesting and like validating and funny. They're funny about it because they've lived in the life of like not being like of being a human and having your body, like feeling uncomfortable about your body and trying to change it. And so it's really like you relate to it a lot. Well, I have related to it a lot. And a lot of the people I talk to who have listened to it also
I think most people at some point in their life, particularly women, have negative self-esteem or body issues. It's just part of being a human, unfortunately.
It's true.
And it's just the diet. And we've been like, I think this is coming out a lot more, like the diet industry is it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And it's all based on the fact that people don't like their bodies. And so just these things that perpetuate that idea and trying to like come to an understanding about it and why it is so powerful and then why it's making so much money. So,
well, and to even like the diet culture, I mean, they're literally encouraging you to have a bad relationship with food.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, I've always had such a hard time with like, I mean, I've definitely tried a lot of different diets over the years too. And like, I just kind of came to it where I was like, I hate this. I don't like the diets that are like, no dairy, no sugar. It's like, no, if I want a little piece of candy or a big candy, I'm going to eat it because I want to.
A block of cheese.
Working on my night cheese.
Me, okay? Working on my cheese.
Last night we all had pizza together and the 3 out of the 4 it wasn't me. 3 out of the 4 people who were there were like, I think I have a dairy intolerance.
You know what? I just eat a lot of cheese and my body doesn't take it well. And so I might have an issue.
Because I love cheese. So I couldn't give it up.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we were all kind of on the same page of like, I may have a dairy issue, but I'm not ready to admit it yet.
I'm not going to do anything about it.
I'm not going to do anything about it or get it diagnosed because that's going to change my lifestyle. And I don't like that.
Oh my goodness. And I have that conversation with my boyfriend
because
like,
your boyfriend
every
is
time
lactose intolerant.
Because he is, and he always forgets to take his dairy pills, like because you're supposed to take them as you're eating the dairy you're drinking, like milk dairy, you know. And it's just like I have to like try to remind him, but then he's like, maybe you should take one too, and I'm like, no, I don't need one.
That.
I'm so stubborn.
So it's a great podcast and very well researched. So
awesome.
And funny. So like well researched and funny. That's where I like to those are good combination.
I like it.
So
sounds awesome. Sounds great.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. I hope you don't mind that we did a respawn. I mean, we didn't ask.
But you always don't, if you saw the title and you're like, they've already done it, then you can just skip it. It's okay. You didn't have to wait till the end of the episode to figure that out. Right?
All our listeners, please just keep listening, even if you don't like the episode. Don't try to discourage people from listening to us, Lindsey.
I'm sorry. I'm really bad at marketing. It's been a few years.
Well, if you have feedback for us, make sure to send an email to cutsiesandcupcakes@gmail.com. You can also message us on all of our social medias. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We also stream on Twitch 2 to 3 times a week. There, I'm changing the banner again. So we are, go to twitch.tv/cutscenespod.
If you're feeling
subscribe to us today.
Yeah, if you're feeling generous, give us a sub.
Yeah, we actually just streamed Among Us tonight, and it was really fun. There was like a big group of us. It was really chaotic, but it was really fun.
And a new map.
Oh yeah, that map was crazy.
It was huge.
It did look intense. I would not be able to navigate it.
I had to like stop. Like I would go like 2 feet. Well, 2 feet in the game, and like look at the map, and I'm like, where am I going?
Or with the camera?
With my body. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. If there's any other games that you think especially from our earlier seasons that you think we should respawn, let us know. We'll do them, maybe.
Let us know and tell us why.
And also if there's newish games you think we should do.
Yeah.
We're always open to recommendations. That is true. For sure.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. So
if you have a criticism, keep it to yourself.
Or send it to the email that we check regularly, but like it's not public.
I mean, PayPal has $5 for us, so
leave us a positive review on iTunes.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
hey, you guys, in the meantime,
grab a friend,
eat some cupcakes,
play some video games.
Goodbye.
Bye.